Have you ever pushed someone away, only to realize too late they were the best thing that ever happened to you? This is the story of how I lost the most loving, patient, and extraordinary person I've ever known, because of my own selfishness, anger, and refusal to see the truth. And by the time I realized my mistake, it was already over. Let me take you back to the beginning. I met her during a time when I was lost, fresh out of college, unsure of my future, and carrying baggage I didn't even understand. But she was like sunlight breaking through storm clouds. She wasn't just beautiful, though strangers would stop her just to tell her so. She wasn't just smart, though she could debate philosophy, science, or the hidden meanings in poetry for hours. She was the kind of person who made love feel effortless. When I was struggling, she stayed up until 3 a.m. listening to me vent. When I landed my dream job, she surprised me with my favorite meal and a handwritten letter celebrating me. She remembered tiny details, how I took my coffee, the name of my childhood pet, even the silly inside jokes no one else got. For 3 years, she loved me in a way I didn't deserve. And instead of cherishing it, I tore it apart. When we moved in together, something inside me snapped. Maybe it was stress, maybe it was my own unresolved demons, but I started criticizing her for everything. Dishes left in the sink, personal attack, her wanting to spend time with friends. She must not love me. I'd snap at her over nothing, call her names I can't even repeat now, and then blame her for making me act that way. The worst part? No matter how cruel I was, she'd still look at me with those patient eyes and say, "Let's figure this out together." But I didn't want solutions. I wanted control. I wanted to be the victim. So when careers pulled us into a long-distance relationship, I used it as an excuse to end things. I convinced myself she was the problem. That distance proved we. But I didn't want solutions. I wanted control. I wanted to be the victim. So when careers pulled us into a long-distance relationship, I used it as an excuse to end things. I convinced myself she was the problem. That distance proved we weren't right for each other. The truth? I was just running from the mess I'd created. The day we broke up, I felt relief. No more arguments, no more stress. I jumped straight into dating again, telling myself I'd find someone easier. But 3 months later, it hit me like a truck. I was at a coffee shop when our song came on, and suddenly, I couldn't breathe. All I could think about was how she'd hum that melody while making breakfast, or how she'd tear up at the lyrics and say, "This is how I feel about you." That's when it finally sank in. I hadn't just lost a girlfriend. I'd lost my best friend. The only person who ever saw the worst of me and still chose to stay. The woman who loved me so deeply. She forgave things no one should have to forgive. And worst of all, I'd hurt her in ways I could never take back. I reached out to apologize, not to win her back, but because she deserved to know I understood what I'd done. Her response? "Thank you. I hope you heal." No anger, no resentment, just kindness. That's who she was, who she still is. Now, she's in a happy relationship with someone who treasures her. Meanwhile, I've dated, but no one compares. How could they? I had something rare and threw it away because I was too selfish to see it. If you're listening to this and recognize yourself in my story, stop. Take a hard look at how you're treating the person who loves you. Because one day, you might wake up and realize the problem was never them, it was you. If you've ever regretted losing someone, let me know in the comments. And if this resonated with you, consider subscribing for more real, raw stories about love, loss, and the lessons we learned too late.